What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Mao. I'm the founder and owner at HireUA, which is a recruiting agency that sources and places premium talent from Ukraine into your business, and will do it in just 5 days or less. We work with a lot of agencies, and a very common question that we get is, what is the very first hire that I should make as an agency owner? So today I'm going to be talking about what the first hire you should potentially make as an agency owner is, and then kind of talk about the pros and cons, depending on which way you actually want to run your business. So the agency business model is like, there's a lot of variance if you really think about it. So you could have people that are doing web design, you could have people that are doing copywriting, you could have people that are doing email marketing, email copywriting. There's so many different things that you could be doing in an agency model. It's not a one size fits all, or there might be roles that most agencies need at some point. The reality is, depending on what you're fulfilling is going to determine what you can hire for. So let's say, for example, that you are an SEO agency. So you basically sell SEO services to your clients with the promise that you're going to get them higher up in the search results. You're going to bring them more business with SEO, whatever it might be. And you have to understand that SEO is something that takes a lot of time to actually develop. Like, it is not something that you just turn on the switch and they start getting SEO results, right? The question is, can you actually hire someone to fulfill that? I don't know. You can certainly get talented SEO people. You can certainly find someone that could do some of this work for you. You know, let's say you're an SEO agency, you have 3 clients, and you're on a 6-month time frame to get any of those clients' results. Say you started your business in January. You have a couple clients. You're 4 months in, maybe they're getting some results, maybe they're seeing some traction with their SEO campaigns, or maybe they're not. So with something like SEO that is more complex and more technical, it's going to take a lot more money to hire someone who actually knows their stuff with SEO and gets that off your plate, versus someone who could, say, send weekly reports to your clients and handle your communications, your customer service, so to speak. When you start looking at that, you have to look at what service you're providing and whether or not it's feasible or easier for you to do it yourself. So if I put a gun to your head and you've only got the ability to make one hire, and you should try to keep at least 80% margin, right? So if you're making 10 grand a month, you could hire someone for 2 grand full time for a client success manager or an operations manager. You could absolutely do that. Could you hire someone full time for SEO for 2 grand a month? It's starting to push it. You get what you pay for, right? So do you want the Ferrari or do you want the Honda? You want the Ferrari, especially as a small business owner. You have to have good talent as a small business. You can't afford to have mediocre people in your business because there's only a couple of you to begin with. So if half your team sucks, then guess what? You're screwed. Here is how I would look at it if I was running an agency and I was attempting to make my first hire. First, I would wait until at least I was making a comfortable amount and I knew that I was still going to have 70-80% margin. If you were to, say, go over that and make a little less than 80% for a few months while someone got onboarded, that would be okay, because that's going to come back to you, right? So you have to keep that in mind. That said, 80-70%, that's a good mark to shoot for. And then you have to start thinking, what do I hate doing? So for example, if you're running an SEO agency, you probably don't hate SEO because you have to do it, right? And this is not something that you just suck at and you power through. You just don't do that. So you have to think, do I like talking to clients? Do I like taking sales calls? Do I like doing lead generation? You have to look at all aspects of your business and see where you're spending most of your time. If you're spending all your time on lead gen, you hate doing lead gen, but you're really good at fulfilling the service, then great. You can just outsource the lead gen in that case. You may not be able to do that. So kind of back to our example here, SEO. It's technical, it's tough. It's hard to find that right person to do a service like that. It just is. Whereas like graphic designers, video editors, they're a little bit more a dime a dozen. It's not as technical, it's not as difficult to fulfill that. So if I was running an SEO agency, I would 100% be looking and saying, this is a technical thing. It takes a long time. I may not know if somebody's any good, right? What if you hire somebody for SEO and you don't really know your stuff that well? And they say, oh yeah, I'm doing it. And you don't recognize that their work sucks. Then guess what? 4 months later, you have no results for your clients. You're just going to churn. You have to know things on a basic level, especially with these longer term stuff like SEO. You have to know stuff on a basic enough level so you can call someone bullshit if it comes to it. So SEO, that kind of technical field, I would not be trying to outsource that as the first position. If you know SEO and you know you're good, I would be looking at hiring a customer or client success manager who then can come in and handle all the client communication. So you onboard somebody, they go and chase down all the proper information. They go and get the contract signed. You know, they send the weekly updates to the client. They tell the client what the next step is. If you need stuff, they go to the client and they get it. So they're the point of contact, which then should remove you from much of that day to day. And if you're able then to say, sit down and focus on the hard stuff like SEO, because that's deep focused work, right? And if you're constantly constantly getting pulled in different directions. Client needs this, client needs that. It's hard to sit down and get that technical deep work done. Whereas if you have someone who handles the communications, guess what? It's off your plate. Makes it a lot easier then to start being able to have more free time, as well as to actually just get that other stuff done. If it's a less technical position, like let's say, for example, that you do a social media marketing agency. So you sign clients that are trying to grow their social media, and you have this plan to say post to Instagram or YouTube or whatever it might be 3 times a day for this brand. That's a lot of busy work. That's a lot of designing graphics. That's a lot of just scheduling, a lot of administrative work. So in that case, it makes sense to outsource the fulfillment of your business because it's a lower level task. It's very time consuming, and it's also a lot easier to hire somebody to make graphics or to do scheduling. Again, SEO, copywriting, other more technical things that could be a B2B service, not quite as easy to get that off of your plate. And maybe it's, you have a particular way of doing something. Again, you're an SEO expert. You've got the sauce, right? That's what you've sold your clients on. Like, I've got the SEO sauce that's going to get you to the top of Google. Someone else doesn't have that sauce. You're going to teach someone that sauce. You may not want to teach someone that right away, right? It's better if they have their own kind of sauce that they can bring to the table before you start uncorking all your secrets. That said, as a business owner, you have to start trusting people at some point. You have to be willing to take your hands off the reins and allow people to grow and prosper. So maybe you do want to teach your SEO guy the sauce. In any case, it's still much harder than it is than doing like social media. So again, more technical kind of fulfillment, be looking at a client success manager, someone to take that day-to-day off of you. Maybe you've got some complicated administrative work. You could just look for an admin. Maybe you've got a bunch of stuff going on in your personal life that bogs down your business. You could hire a executive assistant. There's a few videos here on the HireUA channel of 10 things that you can do to utilize one, as well as a couple other videos about like just the sort of things they can take off your hand, things that they should be taking off your hands. On the flip side, again, if you run a more simple agency, you can absolutely outsource the fulfillment side of it while you do the client communications and do the outreach. Social media agency, pay someone to make the graphics, get it all scheduled. You talk to the clients, you bring in more clients. That's pretty ideal situation. Here's what I would do if I was you. If I was a business owner and I was looking to make my first hire and I was running an agency, I'd be auditing my time for 1 entire week, sun up to sundown. And I would say, hey, what are the tasks that I'm doing? Are they time consuming? And do I like doing them? Can they be automated? And can they be delegated? Just write some lists, pen and paper. You'll start to see the recurring patterns and the recurring trends of stuff that you're constantly wasting your time on. And you'll be able to tell like, hey, this is something I could outsource and this is something I'm never going to be able to outsource ever. And there's going to be things like that in the business, and it sucks, but it's hard to clone yourself. You can try. I'm trying, but it's hard to clone yourself. So the more things that are repetitive and time consuming that you can get off your plate, especially if you don't enjoy doing them, the more energy you're going to have. And not everything is created equal, right? So if a task takes you an hour and you hate doing that task, that's going to zap more energy and drive and creativity from you than, say, a task that takes 2 hours but that you really like doing. So you have to keep that in mind, and that's not black and white. I can't sit here and tell you you should like doing this and you shouldn't like doing that. Like, for example, I hate paperwork. I hate documents. I hate accounting. I hate every single part of that. 1 hour of that work will suck more out of me than 5 hours sitting here behind this camera shooting a video. That's just how it is for me. Your mileage may vary. Some people really like that stuff. Some people like the nitty-gritty, the details, the operations. Some people simply don't. That's okay. You have to start hiring and tailoring your business and your company based off of you, especially as you're still the point person, which, this video is made for agency owners. That typically means small, 10 people or less on their team. So yeah, you as the founder, as the business owner, you need to be protecting yourself and your energy. It's precious, especially in 2023. Everybody is, constantly chasing the dopamine loop, constantly looking for their next little hit. It's a drug. It really is. Everything, everybody wants your attention. So it's really important that you measure that and that you act accordingly. I hope this video is helpful for agency owners looking to make their first hire. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and either myself or someone on the HireUA team will get back to you. If you would like to talk about making your first hire and go through some of the things that you can or cannot outsource, go to hire-ua.com, book a call, and one of the members of the team will speak to you about your needs. We look forward to talking to you. And again, hire-ua.com. Check it out. Watch the video on the site, and we'll see you soon.